All right, so now that we've gotten our blood pressure cuff put together with our extensor hose, we're gonna move on and do lower abdominal exercise number 1, or LA1. And that is gonna be the foundation for all the rest of the lower abdominal series exercises to come. So we'll get lower abdominal 1 down pat, and then in future videos we'll move on to the rest of the exercises. So to start, you'll just need your blood pressure cuff with the extensor hose attached. Make sure this is fully deflated. And you're gonna start on your back. And from here, we're gonna find our neutral or normal lumbar curve. Ideally, you should be able to fit your hand in your low back, and your hand should fit snug, so it should pass right through and stop right up on the top of your hand there, right in the middle of the top of your hand. If that fits nice and snug, then that is more or less what a normal lumbar curve should feel like anatomically. It's not exact, but it's pretty close in the normal range. The biggest thing you want to look out for is if you can slip your hand all the way through quite easily and it just simply passes through your low back and just shoots out the other side, no problem, and you can get your forearm in there, you probably have a little bit too much lumbar curve. So what you want to do is gently tuck your pelvis and just think of pushing your lumbar spine gently towards the floor, just enough to where the top of your hand, the big, thick, meaty part of your hand, the top of your hand fits right in between the floor and your spine. So that's going to be right about there for me. Now, if you have the opposite problem where you can't get your hand in at all, or you have to really fight it to get in there, you have not enough curve. And so what you want to do is think of just arching your low back just enough to get your hand to slide in there and fit snug and not pass all the way through. If this is really difficult for you, you may need to lay over a foam roller or a rolled up towel for a little while to mobilize your lumbar spine into extension so that you have a little bit of extra space. If you can't even really force yourself to have enough curve, you may need to do some mobility work first before we get there. So the goal is to be able to fit your hand snug, and that's going to be your neutral or normal lumbar curve, and that's going to be basically the foundation, your starting point for everything. So now we're going to take our deflated blood pressure cuff, have it a nice rectangle here, and we want the middle of the cuff to be directly under our belly button. So I'm going to slide this under, fit it just about directly under my belly button is the square center of the cuff. And then it should be fully deflated. So from here, we're simply just going to blow our deflated blood pressure cuff up until it fills the space that your hand was once in. So it fills that full volume of that space in your low back. Okay, so that feels like a good replacement for my hand. It feels like that space has now been filled with the cuff. I'm not looking to raise my low back off the floor any more than is already there. So I'm just looking to fill that space till it's nice and snug and then stop there without raising it. So from here, you're gonna look at your cuff and you'll find that it has a number. Right now mine says 50. This might be different for you. It's gonna be a little bit different for everybody. And that's gonna be my neutral pressure. So 50 for me is my neutral pressure. From here, I'm gonna add a couple of pumps, and I'm gonna add an additional 30 on top of that neutral, which is for me 50, so I'm gonna pump mine up to 80. And this should feel like your low back is just gently pressing up into extension a little bit, just a touch, not too much. But it should feel like what was once filled is now being pressed up just very gently. So now I'm at 80 millimeters of mercury on my cuff and my pressure, and that is going to be neutral plus 30. So now we're going to get into lower, so now this is the whole setup for the exercise. Now we're going to actually do the exercise, which is lower abdominal 1. So from here, I'm going to have my 80 on my cuff. I'm going to inhale through my belly button, into my belly, and then exhale. And I'm going to gently draw my belly button towards my spine. I'm going to gently activate and draw my lower abdominals. So I'm going to take these 2 fingers and I'm going to draw them together slightly as well. So belly button goes in towards the spine, lower abdominals activate so that my fingers come gently together. And I'm also going to activate my pelvic floor, so gently draw my testicles up. Think of that movement. You don't have to keep your testicles drawn up, but just think of activating your pelvic floor in that way. Ladies, think of doing like a slight Kegel exercise. And the combination of these 3 movements, bring these together, and then just a gentle activation of my pelvic floor. I've now pressed back into the cuff to add an additional 30 millimeters of mercury on the cuff. So now I'm at 110. And all you're going to do for lower abdominal 1 is that. You're just going to add an additional 30 on top of your neutral plus 30. So you'll be at neutral plus 30 plus 30. And your spine is going to be normal, add an additional 30, and then we're going to actually press back in an additional 30, so we're training at normal. So we're back to normal. But on the cuff, it'll be plus 60. So for lower abdominal 1, we're just going to maintain that activation, keeping it at neutral plus 30, and all we're going to do is keep that stable and just breathe into our bellies, keeping that number stable. So that number should stay stable the entire time you're breathing, and we want to work up to doing that for 3 minutes. So it'll look something like this. So now I'm at 110, I'm breathing, and I'm just keeping that cuff at 110. Breathing into my belly, breathing through my nose, keeping that cuff at 110. I'm going to do that until I can do that for 3 minutes. If you need to take a break, take about a 15-second break, get back into it, and work your way up till you can complete that for 3 minutes. And that is going to be the entirety of our setup for our lower abdominal exercises and lower abdominal 1. So build up until you can complete that for 3 minutes. That'll be lower abdominal 1, and then you can move on to the next set of exercises, which is going to be 2A, 2B, 3, and then you can eventually get to more creative exercises, which will be fantastic for the low back, the hips, the SI joint, and the body as a whole, because everything's integrated. So there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any additional questions or need to fine-tune things, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section below. You can reach out to me on my website, or if you really need some fine-tuning, reach out to me. We can do some remote work, or you can come see me here in Austin, Texas, and I'll help you get everything fine-tuned in. Hopefully that was helpful, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.